Good day, wonderful viewers. I welcome you once again to the Youth Ignite show, a show that is all about youth discussing activities that affect youth and things that affect youth. Now, today on the show, we're going to be discussing a very prominent topic among youth: drug abuse. Drug abuse in various forms has eaten deep into the youth and the society today. So, on the show, we're going to be discussing drug abuse today. Firstly, what is drug abuse? We're going to go through what drug abuse means to different people. We're going to see the causes of drug abuse, the effects of drug abuse, and things, solutions we can prefer to drug abuse, especially among youths. We'll be back after a commercial break. Welcome back once again. We're still on the Youth Ignite show. I remain your host, Jonathan. As I said earlier, we're going to be discussing drug abuse today on the Youth Ignite show. So, drug abuse. What is drug abuse? To many people, drug abuse is the misuse of drugs or the use of drugs without the doctor's prescription. And drug abuse generally stems from misuse of drugs, probably drugs that have been prescribed in the hospital by a doctor to treat a certain case, drugs left lying around at home, drugs introduced by friends in school, and so on. Generally, there are many forms in which people can get in contact with drugs and which leads to the abuse of drugs. So, drug abuse is the misuse of drugs or the use of drugs without a doctor's prescription. Now, cause of drug abuse. What do we think causes drug abuse among youth? The first thing that causes drug abuse among youth is peer pressure. Um, Youths generally we are around friends at school, at home, in our community, and people get introduced to drugs mostly from their peers, people around their age. So the friend might come around and tell you, "Hey, have you tried this? Have you tried this?" Peer pressure, and when you see everybody's doing it, the general notion that comes to our head is, since everybody's doing it, let me also try it, let me also try it, let me also do it, let me join them. And that is mostly what causes drug abuse among youth. Peer pressure, people pressuring them, and so on and so forth. And another thing that I think causes drug abuse mostly is youth trying to prove themselves to their friends, because their friends may be like, "You're not strong enough, we tried it, we used the drug, it's fun," and the youth trying to prove themselves as a result of poor background. Their backgrounds might not be well off, it might not be good, and their friends introduce them to drugs, and they're like, "Okay, I don't have a good background, I don't have so much money, I don't have this, I don't have that. How can I prove myself to my friends that I'm worth being a good friend?" And they go into drug abuse once they are introduced to drugs. And another thing that causes drug abuse is carelessness at home. Some people at home, the older ones, they might leave drugs lying around, and when somebody takes that drug, the child picks up the drug and puts it in its mouth. Especially if it's a drug that causes some reactions, the person might tend to start liking that drugs. When the child takes it over and over and over and over again, he might get addicted to the drug. So you continually take the drug. As a result of that carelessness, the person has fallen into drug abuse. Another thing that causes drug abuse is unemployment. They say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So once the person is idle, they have nothing to do, and somebody introduces them to drugs, they tend to fall into that drugs. They tend to start using the drug because they don't have anything better to do. So they start using drugs, and over time, all they can think about is abusing these drugs. So this drug abuse is caused by a lot of things, and it's affecting a lot of people, especially the youth. The youth are are the most hit by drug abuse because they have this tendency to fall into things because of the young age that we're in. So we, the youth, we are the most hit by drug abuse. It affects mostly the youth, and it's caused by a lot of things, from the society to the upbringing to the home. It's generally caused by a lot of things, from unemployment to trying to prove themselves, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be seeing the effects of drug abuse and how, what we can do about this drug abuse that is becoming a very, very serious case in the society, because I think 1 in 5 youths in every society is involved in drug abuse, and this drug abuse have adverse effects on the people, because the youth, we are the generation, we are the future of tomorrow, and if that future is already sinking in problems, sinking in wrong things, how do we think tomorrow will look like? We'll get more on this after a short break. Welcome back. Still on the Youth Ignite show, we are talking drug abuse today. Earlier, we said the drug abuse is the misuse of drug or the use of drug without a doctor's prescription. And we said the causes of drug abuse stems from peer pressure, from unemployment, from the need to prove themselves. And drug abuse is also caused by the need of some youths to hide their weaknesses. They might be coming from a troubled home, and you see that the only thing to run to avoid that is to run into drugs, because drugs provide a momentary relief from it. But what the thing most of us youths forget is that the effects of the drug are not long lasting. The high that is gotten from the drug, the effect of the drug, they're not long lasting, but the negative effects that the drug causes are long lasting, and they are more harmful. So some of the effects that drug abuse causes is mental issues. Drug abuse leads to some mental issues. It causes problem in the brain, mental disorder. Because when a user gets addicted to the drug, he needs more and more of that drug as time goes on. And drugs are pretty expensive. Some people might be addicted to normal drugs that can be found around the house, like cough syrups mostly have a high amount of codeine in it, so most people get addicted to that. But some people might also over time get addicted to hard drugs, because people basically, when they start abusing drugs, hard drugs, they start from marijuana, which does not have an addicting effect. But when they get from that, they might get pressure to go into other drugs that have higher addicting effects, such as opium, such as heroin. So those drugs are addicting, and when they get to it, the drugs are pretty expensive. So when they start abusing the drugs, they will not have money to pay, and one of the effects might lead them to stealing. They might have to steal to get money to pay for the drugs because they are expensive. And another effect is long-term health problem. Some of those drugs will later cause health problem in future, such as lung infection, lung diseases such as cancer, some other effects, adverse effects that come on the long run. It does not happen immediately, but it begins to break down the body. Those drugs begin to affect the body, begins to break down the body, and causes long-term effect, long-term health issues. And drug abuse also causes violence because when people abuse drugs, most times they lose control of their senses. So it increases the rate of violence among youth. That's why we have issues of youth killing themselves. The death rate among youths are rising every day as a result of this drug, a result of abusing this drug. And it also causes a loss of focus in school. The youth abusing the drug might lose focus in school, will not have focus on any straight career. As I said earlier, the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. But if we are sinking deep in this drug abuse, what tomorrow do we have? What promise do we have for the tomorrow? What can we bring out for tomorrow when we are sinking deep in drug abuse? Now, drug abuse generally, I think most youths fall into it because of the way it has been painted by the society. The society paints things probably from the medias and so on, paints it so it has been glorified and raised to this high standard that people think, okay, drug abuse. I've seen people use drug on TV. I've heard friends use drug. I see people using drug in my society. Let me try it, and they try it and they fall into it, and it causes all these effects. It causes problems in the homes. It causes problems for them because the youth tend to become more aggressive. He will not listen to his parents. He will steal to satisfy the urge for drugs and so on and so forth. And this is causing a lot of misery in our society today. It's causing a lot of problems. You walk around the street and you see youths wasting away, wasting all their promises, all their precious life, all the value they have, all because of drugs. These drugs that are killing them mentally, killing their lungs, killing the body because the drugs are accumulating in the body and they are not being broken down because the drug is not needed in the body. It is just storing there and it's causing problems for the future because the problem that the drug will cause it will affect in a very long term, on a very long term, because at a time if the youths continue using the drug, he will get addicted to the drug. And when anyone is addicted, to break off the habit will be very hard. To break up that habit of the drug misuse, substance abuse generally will be very hard for the person. The person will go through problems breaking off from it. And even if the person succeeds in breaking the addiction and stop misusing the drugs, the effect of the drugs that have been used in the past will still happen on the long run. It might cause cancer, it might cause problems at old age, and you see people dying of miserably because of what they have done in the past. So the wise thing to do is to avoid drug abuse generally. Avoid it because of the effects are more than the advantage, the negative effects, because the advantage is just momentarily, and when you just have it for that moment, you still want more and want more and want more, and the more you are getting, the more harm you are causing to your body. So all these that were listed, what do we think are possible solutions to this drug abuse? Because the drug abuse is really a menace in the society. So what solution do you think we can prefer to it? What solution do you think we can have to this thing? We'll be right back with more after a short break. Welcome back. Still on the Youth Ignite show, we're talking drug abuse today. So before the short break, we mentioned that after the break, we're going to be seeing solutions to this drug abuse. The first thing is youth reorientation. The youth should be reoriented on concerning drug abuse because we see it as a very pretty thing, pretend something interesting. But the orientation could come from the faith-based organization and schools. They should teach the youth what drug abuse really causes, the adverse effect of drug abuse. The orientation should be changed. The things that they get their examples from should change. And secondly, the home, because generally youth spend most of their time at home, so parents and guardians should always caution and watch what their words and their children are doing closely. They should watch them closely. Most parents just leave their children when they get to a certain age and think, okay, he's old enough to think for himself. Let me stop snooping into his business and doing this and doing that. Well, that thing, the privacy that you think you're giving the child might actually be killing the child. So be more involved in the activities that the child does. Be more involved in the life of that child, because you have a big part to play. Parents and guardians have big parts to play. So they should be more involved in the life of their child. And if they see something going wrong, they should try to change it. And if the child sees that, okay, mom is concerned in what I'm doing, and I don't want to hurt her by doing this, by doing that, it will curb that drug abuse. And for the youth should see that the future is full of promises. Forget the background, forget where you're coming from, forget what is going on now. The future has brighter promises, it has better things in stock in future. So where you are right now does not determine where you'll be in future. Great people today, people were celebrating, the youth were celebrating where they have gotten to. They never conceived that they could get there, but they worked hard and they succeeded. The people were celebrating the likes of Larry Page, Mark Zuckerberg. Those people are young people. If they are engaged in drug abuse, do you think we'll be celebrating them, or they would have achieved what they have achieved today? So forget your background, forget everything, because you don't have, basically there's no excuse. All you have to do is work harder, pray unto God. God is always there, He always listens. He'll be able to guide you through, He'll help you through. So forget your situation right now, forget everything that is going on in your life. The world throws a lot of things at us. So we have to just see that, okay, the disadvantage outweighs the advantage. So what's the point in jumping through something that will end up jeopardizing my future? So the youth, we have to make up our mind. We have to decide that I am not doing this. We say no to drug abuse. That even if everybody does it, everybody may, but I won't. Everybody might be doing this in my society. That does not mean I should. Because there's an illustration. You see some people coming out from a place, they are all putting on weird clothing, and you see them, you be like, okay, 90% of everybody, of all the youths are doing this. It is weird, it does not make sense, but because I feel that I must be part of the crowd, and I just decide to change and join them and do what they are doing. Or you have to stand out, because people that stand out are those that end up making a difference, are those that end up making a change. So if everybody is doing it, does not mean you should do it. Say no to drugs, stay safe, live well. So all the solutions, and government, the people should provide employment. And most times we don't have to wait for government to provide employment. We should start doing something with our hands. Everybody is born with a talent. You can do something. There's something you are very good at. Just have to find a way to do it in a different way. Find a way to do what everybody is doing in a different way. Put your hand in something, invest your time in something worthwhile, invest your time in something that is beneficial, something that can profit you. And just don't waste your time at home doing nothing. When you're sitting around idle, that is when evil thoughts come in and you begin to breed on them. Or if you are doing something productive with your time, be it writing, be it singing, be it composing music, be it drawing, be it crafting something of any kind, be it learning how to dance, learning how to do anything, just make sure that every minute of your time you are doing something productive, something that will benefit you, and you engage in benefiting conversations, things that will add value to your life, not things that will remove value from your life. All these things will help curb drug abuse in our society. And I think there should be punishment for offenders in the society too. When people offend, there should be punishment for them. Those punishments will serve as a deterrent to people that want to abuse drugs in future. So hope have learned that the effects of drug abuse are adverse. They are very, 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 very dangerous. It is dangerous to abuse drug. Stay away from that drug. Avoid that drug. They are offering it to you. Tell the person no. Look him in the face. Be assertive and tell him no. I am not doing this against my values, against my ethics. It will affect my life and future. It will jeopardize everything I am for. And you tell them no. I am not doing this. So everybody, stay safe. Stay well, stay strong. Say no to that drug. Till next time, I remain your host, Jonathan. See you next time. Same station on charis TV Youth Ignite. Thank you very much.